Oh, hey, we're live. All right. I was getting that big fucking stupid circle. Anyway, look at this baby here. We got a Market Garden IPA here. See, it's gonna take me to get a little bit of used to this screen because it doesn't show like my fucking phone does. But look at that baby. There we go. Getting a little bit better. It's Citramax, recommended by a buddy from work. In the last episode of Rudy G Funk Show, I told you that I had one of my son's wrestling buddies brews his own beer, and he wanted me to actually do a what would you call it, a review of it. So, like I mentioned last week, I have had pale ales before, but I'm a Bass drinker. I like Bass, and I wanted to try some of these IPAs that are really popular. So, when I heard that Market Garden is off West 25th in Cleveland here, I thought, why not go, homegrown and try one of these bad boys. And they kind of do like kind of like the Great Lakes thing. They got a restaurant and they serve their beer, which is really cool. Sounds like fun, right? But did I do something? Anyway, yeah. Pardon me. It takes me a little bit to get used to the computer thing, even though I did do it last week. I don't have that much experience with it. The camera angle, all that shit. It's taking me a little getting used to. So, hey, let's check this beer out, man. Oh, I should probably give it a read for you guys, just in case you haven't had it. It's 7.4, which is a little bit higher than I really like, because I like to have a few of them. I like to, not a few, but when I do this, I try to go through a 6, unless we don't get anybody on, and I'm done flapping my big ass lips, which is cool. But listen to this. It is a Citramax. It is an Indian pale ale. It's 12 ounces. A West Coast style IPA, dry hopped with organic citrus hops to impart intense tropical and citrus fruit aromas. This brew has an aggressive, boldly bright American hop character that will leave you craving another, which is probably true. But I really like asking the guys at work, because there really is there is a potpourri of different beer drinkers there. We got everything there, from the dudes that do the stout only, the dudes that do the IPA only, the Bud Light guys, So I really like asking their opinions, and it just really works out. It's a nice, diverse opinion. Yeah, let's get into this. Let's try it, man. But yeah, it says Cleveland, Ohio on it. That's all cool. It's got the little Ohio symbol on the rear. So yeah, we're gonna check it all out here. And was this twist? Just kidding. It's a beer guy joke. Ooh. I like to give it a smell before I pull it, because I can already kind of smell it. Oh, yeah, back on that. How I kind of often joke that I usually need to put like 2 or 3 of these down before I can really, before a lot of these flavors really come out for me. And I do smoke, so I think that kind of dulls my palate a little bit. Not that I would be a professional by any means. This is all amateur shit, but I think that has a lot to do with it. And it just kind of came to me the other day that that's probably an issue, is the fact that I smoke. So let's give this baby a little pour. Let me try to adjust this a little bit. So is that better? Is that better or worse? Let's try that. It's kind of a weird angle, but I'll just lift a little bit so you can see. Let's turn this in here. There we go. Right. All right, here we go. 45-degree angle. Do not touch the bottle to the glass. And let's take a look at this body here. Make it a little aggressive there. Pretty nice head on that. See if she stays. That's my favorite. Nice, huh? Pretty good color. Ooh, I can smell it. Yeah. I just kind of wave it around a little bit and I can smell it. And it's not stinky by any means, but, you know, pretty good looking stuff there. Yeah, where's the goddamn camera? Sons of bitches. There we go. Looking pretty good. Oh, yeah, real citrusy, man. Like I can smell like the peel type shit, when you peel an orange or a lemon or any of those citrus fruits. I can, just like you're smelling a, wow. And it's really peel smelling, really. God, I hope I like this, man, because this looks like a really good beer. Very attractive looking beer. So let's take a little whirl here. Stick into the glass a little bit, right? See that? It kind of went down a little bit. I thought it'd last a little bit longer, but I'm not being a total critic here. It's beer. Oh, a little bit of a shock on the first drink there. Like I said though, every time I take a drink of a new beer, I kind of get a shock, and that's why I can't really articulate all the different stuff I taste, because it's so big at first for me sometimes. And like I said, check out, if you really want a real review, guys. Check out Greg's beer reviews, and Darwin's another one that is pretty big and pretty good. What would you call it? Not try here, but try this here. These guys do lots of reviews. I don't want to guarantee it, but if you're ever checking out a beer and you want a pretty professional opinion, these guys, check them out. They're pretty cool, and they sometimes doing multiple beers a day, or at least in a 24-hour period. You hit the little bell thing, and I get these announcements from these guys like all the time, man. Yeah, see, now I'm starting to understand a little bit the big hop taste. And that's just me personally. A lot of you guys that probably drink a lot of these craft beers probably know a lot more about this than I do. But I think I was told by my buddy, I could be wrong, and I could be kind of didn't understand our conversation correctly. I thought he said it's not a big hop taste, but I think it is for me, just because maybe I don't drink these all the time, and not necessarily that his palate's dull, but he's probably used to drinking them a lot more than I do, because I do. I really like those stouts. I mean, those stouts are really good, but I'm not totally turned off by the big citrus taste or the first shock coming here. It looks like a good beer. I wish it would hold the head a little bit better. You can see some of the head holding on to the. But I think there is probably a difference, especially Guinness is such a great holder of the webbing in the glass, and that left-handed brewery is another one that was just. They just hold that webbing so well, and it's just such an attractive beer to drink, to finish, I should say. But I'm not totally surprised, but a little bit surprised at the hoppiness for it. And like I said, my palate's probably all screwed up, so you'll probably hear different stuff like it isn't, because they're used to trying a lot of different beers, but. Do I smell? See, I almost smell like a pine or something like that. And I hope that's not totally retarded, but that's a little weird for me, I must say. It's a decent taste. Give it another smell. There's something about when I'm taking a drink, like I almost smell like pine, like almost like a Christmas tree. But like I said, my palate's probably all screwed up, and I probably am not nailing it. That you do want to go to somebody that really professionally reviews beers, you know. Oh, and if anybody gets on, maybe there's somebody on and I just don't know it. Sometimes the numbers are screwed up. Um, Let me know how the mic sounds, because like I said, I didn't watch last week's. I don't think, and I don't think I checked the sound, other than I knew that there was a communication going on between you and I. So if anybody's out there, let me know how the voice is, or not the voice, but not the how my voice sounds, but the volume of. See, I noticed I got like a little meter here, and if I get a little, I'll try to get a little closer. Hello, check 1 2, testes 1 2. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, well, we're I guess I'm kind of halfway done with this beer. Yeah, I think I do smell that. It's almost like a pine or that type of tree, a needle type tree smell to it when I'm taking a drink now, which is a little quick for me. You know, this is the first one, and I'm already um, a lot of these flavors and aromas are coming out pretty quick. So I guess that's kind of impressive. And it keeps making me burp. Oh, see, when I just burped, it felt piney or needle tree is. I don't know. I guess it could be the citrus because it is a strong citrusy um, finish. Also, it's actually all through it. You know, that initial taste and then it finishes, especially when I burp. I really um, I really taste a lot of that stuff. Okay, anyway, well, we're gonna start flapping our big ass lips about as you read the title. I really want to talk about what happened with Ogbah and Kindred and the Ogbah Murray trade. Um, One of the things I want to talk about, and I made a couple of notes here, but you know what? Give me a second. Let me turn off my phone. And I am back. Sorry. Hope you can still hear me when I walk away like that. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm gonna turn off my phone and see if that activates anything. A couple of my first thoughts with when we were talking about Ogbah being traded for a little bit before this happened. Kind of, there was rumors and from Berea coming that they might be looking to trade Ogbah. But first, I want to talk about kind of my first reaction with Kindred was not a good one. When I first heard that, I'm just thinking because I don't necessarily have any numbers on Kindred. I didn't really look into any of his numbers and how well he did. I just know Kindred was not one of the guys that ever gave me a red flag. Like, oh, we gotta watch this guy because he's fundamentally just watching him throughout the year. I never thought, oh, Kindred, should have made that tackle or whatever. And I never thought of him as I thought of him as at least a backup guy, a fill-in guy. So when we waived him, which is possible that we did try to negotiate it with him, and he thought he was worth more than we thought he was worth, which is, and it's every player. And I'll mention this throughout probably every player that we talk about that we, just like Collins, everybody kind of forgets that we didn't just get rid of him. That I guess I take these fucking things off instead. We didn't just cut him or whatever, or get rid of him or waive him they tried to negotiate with him because, and I do feel he is good. Was he lackadaisical on some plays? I did see that too, but I still thought he was talented and he was worth trying to keep. And we learned later that it was obvious that we did try to keep him, and maybe we lowballed him. Whatever he thought, his agent didn't think we were offering what he was worth. So that they waived him, right? Isn't that true? Didn't they waive him? Anyway, I didn't really want to see Collins go. Like I think everybody else kind of chimed in that he was part of the failures that we had in defense, towards the end of the year and stuff like that. But wow, I'm already starting to feel a buzz off this. Where my head just got fuzzy. I'm trying to articulate this Browns bullshit, and this beer got to me a little bit. Let's have more. Good stuff. And it's the 7% too. I can't necessarily taste the alcohol, because it is really it's very strong citrusy, really strong citrusy taste there. But anyway, back on Kindred, he was a guy that, like I said, I never thought we got to get rid of this guy. All of a sudden, almost out of nowhere. Well, we don't know out of nowhere. Things are going on. I'm sure Dorsey, there's stuff going on all the time, and this could have been a longer process than we know. And I was sorry to see Kirksey go, especially because with the Odell Beckham trade, how we lost Jabril Peppers pepper spray. And because, like I said in my last feed last week, was everybody was starting to get really big on Peppers because, once Hugh was gone, he was starting to show a little bit of growth here, which, also, like I said last week, I don't want to just sit here and bash Hugh, but there's just too many fucking coincidences that happened after he was gone, after he was fired. And I think that was one of them, now Collins, if you want to go back to Collins, what I said, originally or earlier, he didn't seem to get better as the year went on, and obviously Peppers is in a growth period, especially in the Browns. Everything's muddy, all the waters are muddy with the Browns, and you have to try to fucking weave your way through all this mud to try to find out what the fuck's really going on. Especially in the Peppers incident. Everybody's, ripping on him because he's not a good returner and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, not necessarily out of nowhere, but he was certainly pumped to be here. And he was one of the loudest speakers, when we started winning and started to talk a little bit of shit towards the end of the year there. And I liked it, man. The dude hits dudes. And he puts dudes down, and that's really what I like about Peppers is his hitting ability when he's tackling or defending, all that happy horse shit. God damn, I'm really buzzed off that, but not too buzzed right now. But so yeah, my initial thought when we got rid of Kindred was like, there we go again, kind of decimating the defense. Because he was a strong safety. Peppers was a strong safety. We lost our starter and our backup, which I thought was really weird. Now, onto the wow, that is weird. That taste in my burp is like really weird, but not like ridiculously crazy, but just a little weird. I get this like it's like a pine. Like one of them fucking things you got in your car, kind of taste. And I don't like eat those or anything. So, don't chime in that I'm doing that. Anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, on to the Ogbah trade. I think I articulated in one or two casts that I had that I did not want to get rid of him, that I did want to keep him, at least for depth. And one of the things I heard articulated by some of the cast guys and some of the guys, not some of the like lower guys like us on YouTube, but I mean stuff coming out of Berea. One of the things they said is that next year or this year is the last year of his rookie contract. He wanted to have big production. He probably wouldn't want to take a second / first string type season because of this production. But I don't see anywhere where it couldn't be articulated that we still like you. We want you fighting for this spot, with Olivia Vernon, because Vernon is better than him, right? He just, he's producing more than Ogbah was. Now is Ogbah kind of a like we were talking about with Ogbah, Ogunjobi, Garrett, and Coley being out there like 95% of the time. We have to kind of go back to the NASA meter Brantley wave when they got rid of those guys. We kind of got rid of their depth there, and these guys had first string packages. That's why I say first string / second string role for Ogbah. I'd like to think that, if he played a down of series, he would probably shine. He's rested too, and that's one of the great things about relief, or when you fit a guy into a certain package and you give another one of your starters like a kind of a break almost. These kind of backup guys look good sometimes. I mean, they give solid production because they are only going in one time. So how this couldn't be articulated, in some kind of negotiation, I'm not really sure why that couldn't have been, because I think, as a salesman, I think it's a pretty decent argument. If you said, Ogbah, we really like you. Vernon's got better numbers. This is a business and we are going to go with him, but we want you to fight for this job because we still like you. I mean, there's plenty of ways to kind of go about this and tell him something like, you're going to get, we think if we pinpoint and what would you call that? Diminish. If we diminish some of your plays, that you'll be even better on these plays that you're in. Something like that, I think could have been, and they probably did. If I'm some fucking clown, on a computer, flapping my big ass lips, this was probably articulated to him in negotiations. But then we got rid of Kindred, and we traded Ogbah for Eric Murray thing. And it's not that I don't like Eric Murray, but all of a sudden we're down 2 guys and we got 1. So I was a little perturbed when I first heard that. And this is why I don't tweet or anything like that, because I really need a little bit of time to get my head together on some of this stuff and not just react to it. And anybody, I'm not cutting on anybody that does, but I need a little time to soak this in. I mean, is it possibility that he wanted Eric Murray before all this shit, and waived Kindred and used Ogbah to get Eric Murray here? And I'm not saying Dorsey's some evil guy who's got this scheme that it's going to hurt the Browns somewhere. It's not what I'm saying, but I don't know. Maybe he really likes Murray. I haven't heard too much about him. I don't necessarily know his numbers. Film Grinders had a lot of cool things to say about him, but they were like corner related, not necessarily strong safety related. I don't think, because he was filling in corner, I believe, and I don't really know how good Kansas City's defense is, as a rating as a whole. Which kind of brings me to my next subject about Morgan. Now, I don't know any numbers about Morgan this last, and we signed him through like a 2-year deal. So it's not like, he's trying out for the team or anything like that. He probably did. I don't know. He probably already did. But I mean, we already signed him. Like, he's a Brown. And he was from the Steelers in Green Bay originally, and the Steelers. And I thought that very interesting because I never really thought much of the Steelers secondary. And I'm not cutting on Joe Hayden or anything, but like I talked with some of the boys at work, it was the Steelers have been drafting secondary for years, and if anybody thought they had some kind of weak spot, it was with the secondary. But, when I think back to Randall, I thought this was the case for them with some of the Green Bay guys that I talked with. They were kind of like, good luck, and Randall wound up being very productive last year. And we're very glad that I'm just kind of learning because I watched the latest Film Grinders, and I thought we signed him already, but evidently we haven't. And I didn't really check on that, but I believe him when he says we haven't signed him yet, and we probably should. That's probably a good idea, for your free safety, because he was very good last year, very productive. And to lose him, I think we're kind of getting into my final kind of subject, which is, are these is the Odell Beckham trade? Is there a little bit of fallout going on for cap space, kind of? Which is kind of weird because we have so much cap space. It's troubling to hear stuff like that from some of you guys at podcast and others that there may indeed nobody's saying it. I haven't heard anybody say that yet. But like I said, I can't listen to everybody all the time. So I don't necessarily know what everybody has said, but I haven't heard anything about any kind of fallout from getting Odell Beckham. But let me say this. I do believe our defensive line has been upgraded with Sheldon Richardson, with Olivier Vernon, and, keeping Ogunjobi and Garrett, obviously. I do believe our defensive line has been upgraded, but the depth scares me just like last year. And I don't think it's losing us games. And I don't want everybody I talk to about this thinks I'm being some kind of pessimist, and I think I'm just kind of stating the obvious. It seems obvious to me last year when I was worried about NASA, Brantley, and Meter being waived or cut, that was going to be a problem with depth because these guys had first string packages. They had relief kind of packages, or not necessarily relief. I'm not really sure how Greg conducted his defense. I don't know exactly how his defense is run, but they had first string packages, and this provided relief for our defensive line. Naturally, it could have been natural. Okay, this is the package we're going to run. This is what we do. It's probably something like that. And here, it gave him some sort of relief where they're not playing 95% of the snaps. And I believe that to be true until I'm proven wrong. And that would be great if somebody could come up with some numbers or anything that would prove that wrong. And I'm still kind of riding on those coattails that. We do have guys, but do we have like relief guys? You know what I'm saying? Because I look at our roster as of right now with our depth. Now we still have Coley, but after everything that's going on, I'm wondering if Coley is, which I like. I like Coley. I wonder if Coley's expendable at this point. I kind of get the feeling like they might try to find something to do with him, instead of keep him. So obviously it hasn't happened, but if we have depth on the defensive line, it's Coley, and that's about it. Now, I heard I was watching the Film Grinders and watching his comments, and somebody commented on my comment about Thomas, and I do remember Thomas, but I don't recall necessarily talking too much about him throughout the year, through all the games. Um, he was probably a plug-in guy, I would imagine, but I mean, very rarely was he making a play, from what I can remember. I don't know. Kyle, how are you, brother? You doing good? Cool. That's Roach, right? Wow, this beer, the smell that comes with taking a drink of this, man. Always, brother. Hey, welcome aboard, guys. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. How's Joe doing? Joe doing well? Is he with you there, buddy? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, it's starting to open up a little bit. I I got a little buzz off this first beer, and that's, I mean, it's a 7.4 or something like that. And this is kind of why I try to stay away from some of the stuff when I'm doing the stream. But how you doing, Joe? But I'm almost ready to get another one. But as you can see, it's actually a nice little head going on there. It's not huge. It's there. Uh, and it sticks around a little bit, but not as much as some of the other beers that I had tried. But still good. Let me ask you out there, Roach. Can you hear me okay through this? I mean, do you hear me normal, or is it lower volume wise, or? Oh, okay, cool. Because I don't know if you know this, but and this isn't crybaby stuff here, but I went to do my live stream last week, or I'm sorry, my announcement, and for the individuals that have under 1,000 subscribers, they can no longer use their mobile phone to tape shit live. So, and I usually try to do all my stuff live, even when I do my announcements, because sometimes you guys pop in and say hi and stuff, and that's always cool. Or they might remind me about something I might have missed during the week. So I always try to do everything live. Uh, and if you guys are available to pop in. So I'm not really sure why yet. I haven't gotten really an explanation from YouTube yet. And I haven't heard any, besides some of my the guys that I subscribe to, talk about it too much as to why they did this. But that certainly stops, people from walking down the street, starting up a YouTube account and streaming something live that might be happening. So I'm not really sure if that's political. I don't really know if it's a good thing or not, but because the computer seems all right. It's a decent picture, and if you guys say the volume's adequate, that's I don't have a, I'm still going to keep doing this. So it's not going to stop me. We're going to keep rocking. But I just thought that interesting when I went to do the stream, and they're like, "Nah, you've been regulated, fool." I was just like, "What the fuck?" Because I'm a freedom guy. Take away my, as my first, instinct was, fucking take away my freedom, motherfuckers. Thanks, YouTube. But I do thank YouTube, for having this opportunity. And we're going to still keep rocking with computer style here. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a mic for the computer and see how that works. Or I think there's a webcam option. It's one of those little R2D2 things, that kind of, little balls, balls on a stem. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that. I'm not usually big on spending too much money unless unless it's beer. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. But what do you guys think have you heard about any of these trains? Trades. I've been flapping my big ass lips about the Kindred, Ogbah, Eric Murray, and of course we got the latest, which I haven't talked about yet, was the dude from the AAF quarterback, and who was the other dude? Morgan from the Steelers. I guess I was touching on that a little bit, but pardon me. Do you guys, what do you guys know about this Morgan guy from the safety from Pittsburgh? You guys know anything about him? Have you? Because when I think Pittsburgh secondary, I don't think too much about them, But like I said, I felt that way about Green Bay also, just from hearsay, that Green Bay's secondary was lacking. So when we got Randall, but obviously Randall was a good trade, because remember that we got him for Kaiser, which really worked out for us because obviously Randall was a lot more productive than Kaiser. But yeah, I got to get another beer, and I think I might take a hit off the smoke. So hey, stick around, guys. I will be back. I got to get another beer. Oh, need another beer. Give me just a second. I might have to pee already, so give me just a second, fellas. Sorry about that. All right. There we go. So I take it none of you guys really know too much about Morgan from safety from Pittsburgh, huh? Because he was on Green Bay for was it a year or two? I think it was. Yeah, these are pretty potent, man. I gotta be careful. I'll get all messed up here. Give me just a second. I'm gonna have a swim. It was so nice out. I'm starting to hear the fucking toads out there flapping their lips. Oh, so anyway, one of the things I kind of finished up with probably right before you guys got on was obviously we all like Odell Beckham, and we are all happy that he's here, and we all think that Dorsey's a fucking badass for doing the shit that he does. But every time I hear about the defense, I'm always kind of feeling not that they're being ignored by any means, because like I was just talking about with Richardson, Sheldon Richardson and Olivier Vernon, we did upgrade a little bit on that defensive line, and obviously the trades we were just talking about. But I don't know if it's just because it could just be that Kareem Hunt and Beckham, the disparity between the talent we got on off and we've acquired on offense compared to the defense. It could be that. Um, and a buddy and I at work we're talking about them kind of being pretty much like Kansas City right now, where their defense isn't winning any Super Bowls, as they say, but it does remind me, the Browns kind of remind me of a Kansas City type team now, a very aggressive, very high potent offense, and everybody kind of seems to be complaining about the defense. And I'll take that. I will take that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being Kansas City right now. But see now the affiliation with Randall, the Green Bay affiliation, certainly worked out. Do you guys, think this is going to keep working out? And this is what I was kind of getting at with Morgan. And like I said, I'm kind of winging it here. I don't know any of Morgan's numbers, so I have no production opinion other than the Steelers buddies that I have talking about their secondary. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if this what's going to hit or not. This Morgan safety thing, and I think is he a strong safety or is he a free set? I think he might be a free safety. But one of the things, well, and if you haven't watched Film Grinders, he's got a pretty cool show too. He edits and stuff, so it's a little bit more attractive by any means to watch. But he's based in Cleveland area, and he's got some numbers on Eric Murray, and he was pretty impressed with kind of like his cornerback abilities. His man-to-man coverage is supposed to be pretty good. I don't want to say superior, and it's not how he articulated it, but that he's got some pretty man-on-man coverage ability there. But we kind of got him as a strong safety, obviously, because we got rid of Peppers and now Kindred. So I'm kind of wondering, did you just kind of say strong safety just verbally fill that gap, that he might actually play corner, or is his coverage let me go back, because Film Grimes was talking about how his zone coverage wasn't that good but was getting better. So I kind of thought, well, if as a strong safety, you're probably doing a lot of zone coverage as a strong safety. I mean, in coverage, coverage wise, not necessarily blitzing or linebacker, whatever linebacker duties that you have is probably going to be zone more often than man. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. And if you guys know anything more about defensive schemes, I'd love to hear it. But so I kind of wonder, they got him as a strong safety. Are they just saying that, you think, to calm everybody's nerves, about the defense or the secondary? And it's not like we can't use another corner, so I'm not like necessarily bitching about having a dude. Because it sounds like, if that's the case, if he's better in man-to-man coverage, that's fucking good. We could use more man-to-man coverage guys that are at least average or better. So, although I think Mitchell did a good job last year, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he? He was a kind of a filler guy, and he had some pretty differences, or pretty decent man-to-man coverage production last year. I could be wrong. I don't know the numbers. I'm just talking about what we watched. Mitchell wasn't necessarily a problem. I wasn't bitching about Mitchell too much, or that I can remember, like, we got to get rid of this guy. I always thought he was relatively productive. But I think another thing was he is a good tackler. was another point that I think Film Grinders made. But I guess that's kind of almost in about that. One thing I did want to talk about, this is kind of the first thing. I invited Film Grinders to come on tonight, but he's probably busy or he thinks I'm an idiot. It doesn't really matter if he doesn't come on. That's cool. I was going to do the stream anyway, but because of the show that he had produced, I had a lot of questions for him because I think it's possible that he might do his own. He keeps referring to these grind numbers, which I thought was. And I didn't do too much research on it, but I couldn't find grind numbers. So I'm wondering if it's some kind of calculation that he does himself to come up with some of these numbers, which I thought was really interesting and pretty cool for a Cleveland guy that's, he's got about 1,000 subscribers, So I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I think it's pretty cool that he's actually producing something. But one of the things I want to talk about with Ogbah, which I haven't mentioned much to my buddies or anything because I'm not really sure how they'll take this. One thing about Ogbah, because he was so productive in college, because he was, the second best sack recipient when he came out, and he was a freak in the combine. One thing that I wanted to talk about with Ogbah was his, what would you call it? His height of leverage, like his, I guess you could say chi or something like that, some martial arts shit, But if you check out the dude and how he's made, he's very long leg. I mean, he is a brick. Don't get me wrong, he's a fucking brick shithouse. He is. However, his torso, the disparity between his torso and his legs, his point of leverage is high. And I wonder if, especially when he's playing 95% of the snaps, if a lot of these linemen were able to take advantage of that high leverage, that high core area of his, and keep him at bay. And that's another reason I wanted Film Grinders to give us a drive-by tonight, was to ask him if he thought that might be a possibility and how his production wasn't so good last year. Are they using that kind of high core leverage, against him? Because like I said, I think, so many other sports and leverage is just so important with the best athletes. Leverage is just like fucking huge, but, and I can see where it's a possibility, just like wrestling, or even boxing, a big guy against a little guy, you think the big guy has the advantage until he chops down the tree and hits the dude in the gut, and slows the dude down, and the dude starts bending and taking energy out of his back, all kinds of stuff. And I wonder if this kind of technique might be used against Ogbah and keeping him less productive, So WrestleMania tomorrow night. Are you guys big WrestleMania fans? Why the hell is it on a Sunday night? Shouldn't it be like tonight? Isn't Saturday night like a... Wow. This shit is potent. This is potent for me, this 7.4. But yeah, why? How come it isn't on tonight? Why would they do that on a school night? I mean, a lot of kids like to watch that stuff too, don't they? WrestleMania? No, I'm not cutting on. I'm just saying, the video games were fucking huge. The WrestleMania video games. Wow, this is interesting. Interesting beer. Is that right? Yeah, well, I guess that it kind of might make sense because you got UFC and stuff coming on. Would you say WWE is more popular than UFC? at this point, Roach? Which one do you think is more popular? Like if on Saturday night, if there was a UFC block of fights, would that surpass pay-per-view hits than WWE? Or is WWE that much more popular still? I know it was popular when I was a kid. We used to watch that stuff all the time. Oh, you think they would surpass? Okay, so I guess that's, or you said it would. You said it's always been like that. So it's possible that they weren't interested in competing with boxing or UFC, and they Sunday night was just their night of choice to avoid all that bullshit, right? Or does football have something to do with that? With people watching football all day, and then at night, Sunday night they would get WWE. Is that was it about maybe catching the football fans on Sunday, or wait a minute, that would probably start. That'd probably start prime time, wouldn't it? 8 or 9 or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to, I think I know what I'm talking about, especially when I don't. That's my problem. Especially when I don't know what I'm talking about, I think I do. Oh, every 3 months, every quarter, huh? Give me a second. I'm gonna smoke this last half of my smoke here. I'll be right back, guys. It's just weird hearing all the fucking nature at night now. I mean, it's so much louder now at night. Hearing the toads and fucking crickets and shit. They're all fucking back in the saddle. So, what are you guys drinking tonight? You guys having a cold one tonight, or what are you guys up to? Guys just hanging out? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and another on Sunday. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Cool. Well, I have to admit, it could be that I'm a little spoiled on the other beers, but I can't say I like this as much as some of the other stuff I've drank. If you like IPAs, I'm sure you're probably gonna like it. Oh yeah, well yeah, you drink the night before. That's I'm not big on the whole hair of the dog thing when you're, especially if you drink a lot. You just need to recoup and get hydrated, and kind of stay away from everybody the next day if you can. But I don't think I'm influenced by others. I think I'm really trying this unbiased. We're gonna see after the second beer, though. I'm gonna put this one. There is a weird. Um, it's like it's almost kind of a pine taste. And the last thing I want to do is be cutting on Market Garden, because they are. And I'd like to try a lot of their other beers because it doesn't seem like it's not quality or anything. But I'm starting to wonder about the IPA thing. That's it is a big taste, man. It is a big taste, and it lasts. It lasts, and that's good. I think especially if you really like these. Um, it is weird though. I get this almost kind of like a needle pine. Who knows? Maybe it's hops, and I just don't know that it's hops. But um, I can't say I'm particularly huge on it. Not that it's a bad beer. I'm not as big on it. The stouts and the porters were a little bit easier for me to drink. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. Maybe I'll try a wheat next week and see if maybe my palate has changed or something like that, because I liked Holy Moses and Lock Tender, some of these some of the Great Lakes stuff that would have like a citrusy finish on it. Um, I do know that I am getting buzzed, and I've only had like one and a half so far, and I feel a little bit which is cool. But this isn't the beer I want to have if I'm out and I want to last a little bit. Definitely don't want to be driving anywhere if you're drinking this. You want to drink this at home, or get an Uber or whatever you got to do to get home safely. You don't want to be driving. I don't want to be driving the way I feel right now. So, but it's a good looking beer though. I mean, it's an attractive looking beer, and I keep wanting to grab it because of that. So it could be it's just not my thing. Right. I don't know. So I think it's possible. It might even remind me of one of those that I just mentioned. The Holy Moses or the Lock Tender, which I drank a lot of in my day when those came out. I was really big on both of those. But it is very possible because we're trying some of these stouts. That milk stout. Even you guys recommended the milk stout. It's like milk. I think they call it milk stout, but which is hilarious because that's how my wife says milk is milk. But those stouts are really good, man. They're really easy drinkers, despite their appearance. And I really did like them. And I could be getting spoiled by those. Yeah, see, I'm getting the burp. I get that kind of pine. And I hate to keep saying it, but as I'm drinking it, I have to keep reminding myself that that's what I don't like about it. It's weird, and when you mentally picture this beer, I picture that old school, decorating your Christmas tree with orange peels and lemon peels, and whatever you can muster up from your fridge to decorate your fucking tree. That's kind of what this beer is to me. And I am not an IPA professional by any means when I say this, but that's kind of what I get from this. It's a good looking beer, and I want to keep drinking it. But as I keep drinking it, I'm liking it even less. And I'm really sorry to say that, because I'm going to have to. I think I want to make up for this and try a different Market Garden beer, because this is probably a really good beer for IPA drinkers, and I'm just not the right guy because of my individual tastes. To try this and articulate this, on YouTube. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm right. Does that make sense? I could be wrong. Maybe I'm right. And but it looks like a good beer, man. I really want to keep drinking it just because of how it looks, and I'm kind of like that. If if a beer is attractive, I want it. No different than a car or I'm not going to say women, but I'm a married man. But yeah, the head's kind of holding itself decent. It's decent enough where it's keeping that. It's a nice topper on it, but nowhere near. Like you guys had me try the milk stouts or the stouts that I tried. So it could some of it. No, it's not. It's the pine. It's the pine shit, and it's my palate is really opening up right now, and I don't really care too much for it. Um, and I'm sorry, because these guys are right here in Cleveland, and I hate to down Cleveland in any way whatsoever. I was really looking forward to trying this beer tonight, and I don't really care too much for it. It's not something that I'm gonna. It's not something that I would buy because I want to drink it, and that's too bad. So I've decided right now that I will try a different Market Garden beer next week to really try to make up for today. And it could, like I said, it's probably a personal thing. And you guys that drink these IPAs, you probably might really like this. This is probably good quality, but I'm too much of an amateur to probably realize that. And I feel like maybe I'm getting a little stung by this beer. And I don't mean just buzzed wise, but I mean taste wise. There's a lot of big, possibly hoppy taste to this that I'm probably not used to it, and I'm getting a little shocked by it. And this is why, wow, as I'm breathing, uh, I feel like I'm breathing that pine that I'm talking about, which is just weird because I didn't see any kind of mention of. I can't see because I don't have my glass, but I looked at it to make it look good. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish this one, and I got a whole 12 in there. I bought a whole 12 because I was so looking forward to checking this out. And I will eventually drink them. It's not going to be tonight though. I won't put a 6-pack down tonight because not only just because of the alcohol volume, but I think I need to try this again um, some other time because it's not doing very good for me tonight. That pine thing's really fucking bothered me, and that's why I say this because the honey brown, that honey finish was bothering me that first time I tried it. So I don't know, maybe I'm opening up my palate a little bit on the IPA and another retry. But I'll do that off of YouTube. I won't do it on the live stream type try that I so very much love to do. I really do love doing this, trying new beer and articulating online and bullshitting Browns with you guys. But yeah, can't say I particularly care for it. But like I said, I bought a 12, so I'm actually going to eventually drink these. And I don't know, maybe I'll mention it in another stream that I do, whether I tried them a lot or not, and started liking them. But yeah, as of number 2, I'm not going to give it a grade, but it seems not to be my thing. And I think it might have been a while ago, and I could be wrong, but yeah, it's not really my thing. But it's still, it holds a decent head. It's not huge, but it's still that head topper that there's some quality ingredients put in it. It looks like to me. It's not like a fizzle out Coors Light or anything like that, or but yeah, I might just finish this, man. I might cut out because not only is it making me buzz, but I'm not particularly liking it too much. But yeah, kind of roughing it right here. And that's okay. That's okay. Things don't always work out. You don't like every beer that you try. I really try to like every beer that I try. This is, if you know me, if you watch my other shit, I want to like the stuff that I'm trying. There's no doubt. And I don't think there's much of a doubt that this isn't a quality IPA either. I really think it's personally just me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe I'm a wuss. I don't know. It is a little hoppy. Maybe that's the yeah. Uh, yeah. Oh, that looks so much better now. There's somebody over there. You know what? All of a sudden, this just tastes better. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's a lot of taste at the same time, and I don't mean like a cacophony or anything like that, but it's a lot. Initially, and it finishes, and your burps are like it's got that pine burp. That's just a little weird, and I'm not really sure at this point why these are so popular right now. I'm not really sure. It is a good looking beer, and I can see if you're at a bar, you walk in and somebody's got one of these sitting in their glass, and you ask them, "Hey, what the hell's that?" And you go and get it, and then you try it. I don't want to say I'm disappointed. I can't stress enough about individual tastes and stuff like that. And I did do a lot of stouts before, or not a lot. What did I do? What did I do? I did left-handed. Their nitro, which was really good. I did the porter, which is a pretty easy drink for a porter. Despite how it looks, which I counted on earlier. Yeah, I just don't. Now I'm a little scared to do that review of my my son's wrestling buddy because I don't want to give the dude a bad review because I'm going to be honest. And he wants me to review a double IPA, and if it's double, it's going to be even bigger taste in this. I'm guessing, especially it being probably a home brew. And I will do it. If he gets it to get. That's me. If he asks me to do it, but I just don't. I don't want to give the dude a bad review because of me as an individual. I think, but I mean, I will give him a shout out that he does do this and he does the homebrew thing. But yeah, it's not really my cup of tea so far. And I'm not necessarily having trouble drinking it because, like I said, it's still attractive. I still want to grab it and shove it down my face. And the webbing isn't all that bad, but it's kind of not non-existent because, like I said, the topper is it's still there. And I just call them toppers because if I wanted to put something on top of this, like a Guinness or something, it's going to help me create that separation. Because that firm head really makes for a good topper if you want to top something with a Guinness or. Wow, see, that sounds like a great idea. Take one of your favorite, other beers like an ale, a pale ale, or a brown or something like that, and top it with a left-handed. I might skip the Guinness and go to that left-handed nitro, that milk stout, or even the Great Lakes. That oatmeal stout was like really, really delicious, man. I really like drinking that. But that left-handed had Oh man, the way it grabbed the glass, I was so impressed with the webbing with that left-handed nitro milk stout. I might start topping shit with that, man. You know, it's expensive, but I gotta figure out something to top that with because that was very impressive. See, I'm getting really buzzed right now, and I haven't even finished the second one. I'm really buzzed, and this it all sounds good, man. You know, I get it. We're guys. We like getting buzzed and having a good time and the party atmosphere, all that stuff. But I'm getting really buzzed right now drinking this. And it's only 7.4. I think one of the other ones I tried was an 8 something, but this one particularly is. I don't know. Like I said, it could be an individual thing. What day it is. This is really making me buzzed, or like almost like I can focus pretty good because I got these glasses on. That's certainly helping. But if I take glasses off, I'm just like. I'll probably fucking fall down or something. But, yeah, the alcohol is a little bit more than what I like, and that pine ring to it, it does bother me. It does bother me, and I'm not saying it's not a good beer. I'm not giving it like a thumbs down or anything because it seems like a quality beer. It's attractive looking. I want to drink it. It's just not my cut. And I guarantee you, Market Garden probably runs some stuff that I really like, and I need to try some other stuff by them. But the IPA, it's one of my buddies at work said this. He's like, I can't do that citrusy taste, that aftertaste, that sting, that orange peel. And I don't think he planted a seed with me. I think I really came into this unbiased, wanting to like it. And when I came across it, it's not my cup of tea, man. It is not. It is not. But it's a good looking beer. It's a good looking beer, man. Here we go. So hey guys, I'm gonna cut out of here because it's the buzzed factor, and I really don't want to turn into a big jerk here, and start beating my wife. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I don't beat my wife. But, yeah, I'm just buzzed, and I kind of ran out of things to talk about this evening. I kind of ran them over tonight. And you guys are awesome, man. I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys chiming in, but I'm kind of fucking done for tonight, man. Probably not done drinking. I'll probably keep drinking these and see if they get better. But I prefer to do that off camera. I'll probably put on some tunes or something and hang around and try to recoup a little bit, But you guys are awesome. I'm glad you guys stopped in, Joey and Roach. Obviously we're going to do this again next weekend, and I'll let you guys know for sure with an announcement. But you guys are cool. All our subscribers are cool. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm just about done. So you guys be safe, man. God bless you. Glad you guys aren't drinking tonight, or am I? I don't know. But anyway, you guys be safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless you, man. Later.